because not much is a very simple concept over there. Soalan isotop dia boleh masuk kat mana-mana chapter nanti. Okay, whenever you have proton number, nucleon number, electron, they can ask about isotopes. So isotope, two or more atoms of the same element, they must be from the same element that have the same proton number in the nucleus but different nucleon number. So the changes, I think you have learned this in your SPM. The changes that you might come across is this last sentence. Some class or some book, some notes will use different number of neutron. Even my notes, I think I have two options over there. All right. So either one will do. Different nucleon number will do. Different number of neutron will do. They are actually similar thing. All right. We are talking about the same thing over here. The main differences compared to your SPM is this definition is a lot more details where you must mention at least two or more atoms of the same element that have the same proton number in the nucleus, but then the different nucleon number. Okay? And why I love to put your isotope notation before my isotope simply because if I'm using the nucleon number, we talked about isotopic notation yesterday. So the example of isotope, all right, the simplest example of cross, wait, something wrong with my pen. Okay, is your hydrogen 1. This is the simplest isotope that I believe whenever you search for isotope, you come across this. Okay, the simplest isotope that you will come across. Over here, I want you to check a few things. First thing, must be the same element. At least two or more. If there is only one, we wouldn't call that as an isotope. Isotope means you need to compare. Both of them must at least have the same proton number, but different nucleon number. So they must be from the same element. And we are talking about the element of hydrogen right now. We are comparing the hydrogen. Next, we are going to compare the proton number. The proton number over here must be the same number. I love to use the isotope notation because from there it's quite easy. The bottom number must be the same, but the top number must be different. Your nucleon number must be different. That is isotope. Okay, that is your isotope. Another example that I would love to use, all right, you see me keep using this, is your chlorine. Chlorine have two types of isotope, chlorine 35, chlorine 37. All right, so you can see from there the things, they are the same element. Chlorine, same element, must be from the same element. And for the chlorine over here, we only have two types of isotope. And your chlorine also having the same proton number, 17. Okay, but the nucleon number is different. The nucleon number is 35 and 37. Okay, to be honest, guys, I think chlorine have about 24 to 28 isotope on the Earth. I think hydrogen is way more than 3. Okay, all the isotope that you learn, we normally learn hydrogen is 3, chlorine is 2, magnesium is 3. We always come across those things. Okay, but actually, in fact, we have a lot more isotope of the same element. Tapi kenapa kita hanya ambil 2? Kenapa kita hanya ambil 3? Sebab diorang adalah yang paling banyak. Yang lain wujud, alright? Saya mungkin ada chlorine 38, chlorine 39, chlorine 40 ada, tapi tak banyak. Probably only 0.00001% from the Earth. Okay? Sebab tu kita tak ambil kira. Yang kita belajar adalah yang kita ambil the highest abundance. We will come across that word later on. Okay? So remember this isotope first. We will still use the concept of isotope later. So any problem with isotope? Definition sebiji yang saya bagi, yang boleh ubah hanya adalah ayat di bawah, different nucleon number or different number of neutron. Tak boleh ubah yang lain. Same element wajib, in the nucleus wajib. Okay? Sebab saya rasa selalu budak akan tulis macam ni. Same proton number, different nucleon number. Yang tu kita tak bagi markah. Maka hanya ada dari awal 2 or more atom of the same element that have the same proton number in the nucleus but different nucleon number. Yang tu kita bagi markah. Okay, jangan salah kat situ. Soalan tak banyak along the way. Saya akan tanya. Over here, saya bagi satu soalan je. Okay. So, simple question. I think the question very simple. It just needs some explanation in your question. Okay, soalan senang. Boleh buat, tak ada masalah saya rasa. So, over here. The table 1 show the atomic structure, okay, of 4 particles represented by the A to D. The particles are atom and ion. You know the best thing when you teach online? You can have a lot of colors. Betul lah, kalau ajar kat kelas dulu kan marker biru, marker hitam. Marker merah lah, marker merah. Betul, tak ada yang lain dah. Boring man. And right now we can have pastel color of the highlighter. Oh, tak ada. Salah tekan. Alright, come back. So, we are having atom and ion over here. So, the first thing that I want to ask before we answer the question would be, which one is atom, which one is ion? Okay? Azri? A, atom or ion?
Atom.
A is atom. Why?
Because it have the same proton and electron.
Sekali lagi.
Because the number of electrons same with the proton number.
Because the number of electron is same with your number of proton. So when electron and proton are the same, therefore they will cancel off each other because electron carry -1, proton carry +1. Okay, 1 Fatin. B?
Yes, miss.
Atom or ion?
Atom.
Atom, why?
Because electron and proton have the same number.
Okay. Because your same electron and proton is the same. Natasha, C, atom or ion?
C, ion.
C is ion. Okay, next question. Zul, what type of ion? Positive or negative?
Positive.
Positive. Positive nama dia apa?
Cat ion.
Cat ion. So it's a positive ion, cat ion. Alright, setuju ke? Aiman kurus. Jahat gila. Tak tahu nama bapa apa weh. Aiman. Mama Aiman.
D ada.
C. Zul kata cat ion. Saya nak tahu charge dia berapa?
2 positive.
2 positive sebab?
Sebab proton number is higher than electron.
Good, because your proton right now is 12, your electron is 10. We talked about it yesterday. Soalan macam ni senang. Dia akan keluar objektif. Dia akan jadi susah sebab kamu buat careless je. Fikir betul-betul. Kalau dalam exam tak ingat, lupa, tak payah ingat. Tulis. You know what is the problem? Careless doesn't occur. Careless occur because you are lazy. Alright? Careless wujud sebab kamu malas nak tulis. Sebab tu kamu careless. Okay? Tulis. And last but not least, D, I can answer for that. D over here is your atom. Okay? Your D over here is your atom. Same thing because your electron and your proton is the same value. So the question stated already, dia orang adalah atom and ion. Therefore, we classify which one is your atom and which one is your ion. First question, which 2 particles are atom and ion of the same element? Alright? Atoms and ion of the same element. Jawapan, Mr. Ng?
B and C.
Mr. Ng say B and C. Why?
They are same proton number and neutron number.
Okay. Alright. So you can see over here, ion ada seorang je. Okay, ion ada seorang je, your C. And partner yang boleh sama dengan C is definitely looking at the proton number. Check the proton number. The proton number of your C right now is 12, your neutron is 12. So nak cari orang yang sama, the same element, find the same proton number and find the same neutron number, which is your B. The keyword is here, atoms and ion. So ion ada seorang je weh, B, C tu mesti jawapan kat sini dah confirm. So pasangan dia siapa? Pasangan dia adalah B. Because of the same proton number and same neutron number. And the problem always arise is perkataan explain kat belakang lah. Soalan semua boleh jawab. Lepas tu bila dia titik, explain titik, soalan tu tiba-tiba jadi susah. Apa susah weh? Exactly like how you answer just now. Like what Mr. Ng said, your A is B and C. What is the reason? Exactly the reason that you mentioned just now. Because both has same number of proton and number of neutron. Okay, tak habis lagi. Okay, tak habis lagi because question stated atom and ion. Sembang yang tu, bukan sembang. Explain yang tu. Alright, you only explain B and C because they are the same element. You haven't explained they are atoms and ion. So explain they are atom and ion. B is an atom. Why B is an atom? Because number of proton same as number of electron. While C is an, saya tak nak tulis an ion boleh. Kita tulis cat ion terus. Okay, tunjuk pandai sikit. Is a cat ion. Because, rasa-rasa? Because number of proton higher than number of electron given. Okay. Two part of explanation. Boleh nampak ke tulisan? Saya lupa nak tanya kelas saya tu. Is kelas okay? Kalau kamu tak complain apa, saya assume okay je tau. Saya short sendiri je. Okay, kalau ada apa-apa bagi tahu lah. So, explain means you need to explain both the entire question. First, why they are the same element, same proton, same neutron. Second, why atom and why ion. Okay, sebab tu dari awal saya tanya dulu siapa atom, siapa ion. Saya rasa burung tu tahu kamu belajar kot. Dia pun nak belajar dari pagi tadi. Weh, kelas saya dari pagi tadi. Just noisy out there. Kamu dengar ke suara burung? Tak?
Tak.
Oh, baguslah suara saya kuat lagi. Okay. Next.
Dengar sikit-sikit.
Which two particles, pagi tadi lagi teruk sebab my aircon punya yang luar tu duduk kat bilik ni lah, sangat dekat. And I think the bird actually hit on it. Just like so loud suddenly. Macam ada benda langgar besi. I hope the bird didn't die. When two particles are isotope of the same element, explain. Which two particles are the isotope of the same element? Rasa jawapan? Nurin?
A and D.
A and D. Why?
A and D have the same number proton and different number neutron.
Yes, it's basically the definition of your isotope. Alright, it's basically the definition of your isotope because both has same number of proton but different number of neutron. Saya nak tukar mindset kamu sikit. Soalan explain bukan soalan susah. Soalan explain adalah soalan markah banyak. The more you not the more you explain, the more they ask you to explain, the higher mark that you have. Okay? So it's not a tough question. Macam mana kalau kamu boleh tentukan A and B, you should have the answer already. Okay? So just write on how you identified them and then you will get it. Okay? So next, we have talked about average atomic mass yesterday, right? We have talked about average atomic mass and also we have talked about relative atomic mass yesterday. Ada masalah dengan formula dia? Tak ada? Okay. Kalau tak ada masalah dengan formula, dengan mass spectrum. Kita nak pergi kepada soalan terus hari ni, as I promised. Any question that you cannot do, or any question that you are not comfortable, you are not confident, that is the one that I want to discuss first.
9, teacher.
7
Dapat?
and 9.
9.
9. Okay. Calm down. Senang je. Relax lah, senang je. I will make the question smaller. I believe you already have the question. Kamu tak perlu tengok soalan saya kat atas kan? Okay, I'll just make it a bit smaller so that I have more space. Alright, but okay. So, yang dah buat boleh check jawapan, yang belum buat boleh buat sama-sama. Make sure you have your calculator with you. Okay? The diagram shows the mass spectrum for the copper atom. So this is for copper atom, stated over there, copper 63, copper 65. Another name yang kita boleh panggil isotope, sometimes you will come across, kita boleh tulis macam ni, yang kamu biasa jumpa, I think is this. Copper 63, copper 65, betul? Certain buku akan tulis copper 63, copper 65, masih menunjukkan isotope. Okay, dua-dua cara adalah isotope, they are the same. Just different way of writing. Okay, kalau soalan keluar mana-mana pun, they are the same. Which has been identified to have 2 isotopes. So the question stated over that, the keywords, your copper having only 2 isotopes yang diberi. Using the information given below, calculate the abundance of each of the isotope. Let's see. First thing, as always, saya akan suka keluarkan dulu data yang saya ada dengan data yang saya tak ada. So in this entire question, I think we need 2 things, which is your QI, which is your MI, right? Keluarkan data dulu. So QI is the one that we are looking for, okay? Question asking for abundance, we don't have the QI, so we are looking for the QI, tinggalkan kosong. MI is the isotopic mass of the copper 63, is given up here, Macam mana nak tahu value kat atas ni adalah value untuk abundance atau value untuk mass? Senang je. Tengok dia bagi. Kalau hasil tambah 2 ni melebihi 100. Sebab kalau dia adalah isotope abundance, dia kena 100 atau 1. Agree? Sekarang dua-dua value tu tambah jauh lebih. First. Second, look at the value given and also this value. Your mass, copper 63, copper 65. The value given is actually the isotopic mass. Okay? Kena hati-hati sebab kadang-kadang soalan buat jahat. Soalan kadang-kadang akan bagi QI ke atas ni. Alright? Kadang-kadang dia akan bagi dalam bentuk QI. Kadang-kadang dia akan bagi dalam bentuk mass. So kamu kena baca betul-betul yang bagi ke atas ni sebenarnya adalah QI ataupun MI. Check the value. Okay? So this over here obviously is the MI because question asking for the QI. Put down the MI, 62.9298. Make sure you read carefully. Alright. So over here, I need to find the isotopic abundance for copper 63, for copper 65. I put an unknown, X, Y. Siapa yang tengok video, dia patut boleh buat dah kat sini. Mungkin kamu akan tinggal markah, tapi saya ada soalan yang lebih kurang sama. Betul? So, soalan minta abundance. Suka nombor besar ke suka nombor kecil? Nak nombor besar ke nak nombor kecil? Kira.
Kecil.
So, kalau kecil, X plus Y sama dengan berapa?
1.
1.
Kalau kita ambil abundance, soalan hanya minta abundance sayang, make good use of the sentence. Soalan hanya minta abundance, bermakna kita boleh bagi relative and or percentage. Siapa yang buat percentage tak salah, jawapan kamu tetap betul. Tapi value kamu besar. Okay, tak salah. Tapi saya nak ajar cara senang. Sebab tetap dapat markah. Soalan hanya minta abundance, tak payah buat value besar, kita guna X plus Y sama dengan 1. Therefore, X will equals to 1 minus Y. Simpan dulu benda ni. Okay, are we together still? Next, I think the biggest problem Safan duk geleng kepala tak boleh nak buat. Okay, I'm stuck. After this, I'm stuck. Nak mula macam mana? If you remember, I give you a table just now at Google Classroom. Alright, is the table yang kamu akan dapat daripada dalam exam. In the table, you have one thing called atomic mass, or to be exact, lagi tepat, relative atomic mass. Ambil terus relative atomic mass of copper dalam tu. And the relative atomic mass of copper is actually 63.6. Betul? Bahasa lain, Google, kamu akan dapat atomic mass untuk copper. Inilah atomic mass untuk copper. Syllabus kita syllabus kita relative atomic mass minimum 1 decimal place. Look at the table. Kalau boleh table tu print out yang saya bagi tu. Constant tu print out, simpan. Biasakan diri guna 2 muka surat benda tu. So that in your exam, benda tu jadi you've been using for 4 months. So you should be very good where is copper, where is zinc, where is magnesium and so on. Okay? So in there, find out the relative atomic mass. I said relative atomic mass. Rasa-rasa kita mula dengan average terus atau kita mula dengan relative formula? Perlu tak mula dengan relative question? Perlu. Sebab apa perlu?
Teacher, sebab sama kan?
Sebab yang kita dapat value tu sebenarnya adalah value relative. Bukan average. So kamu tak boleh mula terus dengan average. Siapa yang mula terus dengan average maka tetap akan dapat sebab jawapan akhir tetap akan betul. Tapi kamu akan hilang markah. Kamu hilang 2 markah sebab kamu tak guna formula relative. Maksud teacher, relative tak ada unit as we agree yesterday. Betul? So kita nak jadikan dia kepada average, therefore we use the formula AR of copper equals to average atomic mass of copper. This is the one that we are looking for. Okay, this is the one that we are looking for over 1/12 times mass of 1 carbon-12 atom. And ladies and gentlemen, in the entire semester, the moment ada formula wajib jadi sebagai jawapan. 1 mark. In this semester, you will have a lot of calculation. The entire semester is about physical chemistry. So whenever you have formula, you must have formula as the first thing. 1 mark. Put down the relative atomic mass that you have, 63.6. 63.6. Substitute in the value that you have, which is, later on, the mass of carbon. This is the one that we are looking for. Over 1/12 times 12U. How do we change it to average? Because of the unit. See that? So unit sekarang dah akan ada kembali. So kita ubah daripada relative atomic mass kepada average atomic mass of copper equals to 63.6 U. This is the value that you will put into your average. Siapa yang buat terus dengan average, I wouldn't say salah, cuma kamu akan hilang markah lah sebab jawapan akhir kamu memang akan betul. Alright, kamu akan hilang markah. So, start. Sambung, kita dah ada average. So, we go for the formula of average. Average atomic mass of your copper equals to total QI/Mi over total QI. Again, formula is a must, 1 mark. Wajib. Okay. Average atomic mass calculated 63.6 U yang kita cari dengan unit. Average atomic mass QI/Mi. Saya dalam keadaan 2 slide lah, kamu sepatutnya dalam 1 slide je lah. So your QI/Mi is over here. Copper 63. QI is your X, Mi is this. Okay. So ambil je lah 62.9298 X. So you have your 62.9298 X. Sebab darab terus kan. Tambah dengan, tak ingat, 64.9278. Kalau saya salah bagi tahu . 64.9278. Am I right? Pandai. My brain still functioning. X plus Y. And the only two equation that you need right now is only your X plus Y equals to 1, your X equals to 1 minus Y. This is the only thing that you need at this moment to solve this whole thing. Saya perlu tunjuk atau kamu nak cuba kira? Are we together over here?
Yes.
Okay. Safan dah okay?
Tak sebab dalam table tu tak tahu. Boleh tulis dalam table tu.
So kamu solve je lah, masukkan. Okay, 62.9298. Your X over here is X1 minus Y. Masukkan 1 minus Y plus 64.9278Y over X plus Y 1. Okay, so 1 tu saya rasa boleh bawa ke sana lah. Kita akan darab nanti. So 1 bawa ke sebelah kiri. You solve the mathematics 63.6 equals to yang ni darab masuk. Matematik je weh ni. Ni kalau tak boleh buat bukan salah saya ni. Cikgu Mat siapa? Jahat. Last cikgu Mat kena. Sam ni memang banyak kira-kira. But you will be good after this. Okay? So 1 bawa ke sebelah. Kita darab. 1 je pun. And then yang ni darab masuk pun 1 je. 62.9298 minus 62.9298Y plus 64.9278Y. Boleh dah kot. U is a unit there. U is a unit. U is not a unknown. So U is a unit. So tak letak pun tak apa. It's a unit over here. Kamu jangan pening pula dengan U tu. Okay. Boleh dapat Y? Be very careful with the negative over here. Because both is Y, but one is positive, one is negative. When you press your calculator, make sure the negative is in. Okay. So yang ni bawa ke sebelah, tolak. Okay. Yang ni selesaikan. Ada masalah kat sini? Saya nak jawapan daripada Safan. Belum?
Tengah kira.
Tengah kira. Saya tak nak bazir masa, tunggu kamu kira. Kamu akan kira, kamu akan dapat Y kat sini. Okay. Saya cuma nak tekankan teknik menjawab. Soalan tak ada Y tau. If you read the question again, did the question ask you to calculate Y? No. Alright? So you cannot leave your answer as Y because the question did not ask for Y. Therefore, you need to label the Y. Y equals to the value that you calculate is abundance for, alright, tengok balik table yang kita buat tadi. That's why I say I love this table. I super love it in the form of tables so that I can see clearly who they are. Y is for copper 65. Okay, Y is for copper 65. Therefore, your answer later on is abundance for copper 65. Yang ni saya nak tekankan sikit. Jangan tinggalkan jawapan kamu sebagai Y. Okay, Y tak ada dalam soalan. Soalan tak tanya Y sayang. Okay, make sure you label who is your Y. Same goes to your X. Your X over here will be 1 minus Y. So you have your Y, you can solve it 1 minus Y. X yang kamu dapat pun sama. This one, oh bukan persen, sorry. Alright, bukan persen. They just don't, the eraser doesn't like me at any point, okay? So 1 minus Y, you have your answer over here is your X. Same thing, you need to label that is abundance for copper 63. Label. Yang ni saya tekankan. Sangat. Okay. Ada siapa-siapa nak bagi jawapan Y? To check your answer? Oh, kelas saya memang jarang bagi jawapan Kamu memang kena kira. Anybody want to try?
0.3354.
0.3354 for Y. Class? Agree? Ada jawapan lain?
Yes, agree.
Agree, tak ada jawapan lain? Okay. Betul lah, saya assume betul lah. Alright. Okay, I think soalan untuk macam ni, the type of question for this will only come out when you have 2 isotope. When you have more than 2 isotope, this type of question won't come out. Don't worry. Okay? Boleh kira? Zul, okay? Good. Question, any others? Kecuali 9 yang perlu saya bincang sebelum kita bergerak balik ke atas.
7.
7.
7.
Okay. Let's see. Apa benda ni? Okay, you have the question, right? Okay, can see a bit better. Okay. Si is analyzed in a mass spectrometer, found out that Si has 3 isotopes. So Si having A, B, and C isotope with the isotopic mass given. So as always, I will then put out in the form of table. I have A, I have B, I have C. This will make your life easier. So the isotopic mass, Mi, for A, 27.9999. B, 28.1001. Everything is in the unit of U. C, 28.2005. Saya jenis malas nak baca soalan banyak kali. So, bila saya baca soalan, saya suka keluarkan information yang dia bagi. Okay, saya malas nak baca. Given that the ratio of A to C is 3:1. Oh, A to C is 3:1. Okay. C to B is 0.5. First thing, we solve the C to B is 0.5 first. Apa maksud 0.5? C to B is 0.5. 0.5 means is over 1. Okay, ataupun 1 to 2. Nampak tak? 0.5 ataupun apa-apa nombor bulat sebenarnya adalah per 1. Betul? Okay. So ratio adalah ratio lah. Betul. Ratio C kepada B 0.5. Dengan kata lain, dia sebenarnya adalah 0.5 kepada 1. Ataupun semua orang tahu 0.5 is actually half teacher, 1 to 2. 1 to 2 pun boleh. Okay? First problem, I guess. Second problem, you need to combine this. Because I want the QI for A, B, and C. But I have A to C, I have C to B. So what do? A to C is 3 to 1. And then C to B, you need to make the C, sebab C sekarang connection. C kita adalah connection. Alright, C is the connection. So the C must be in the same value. Okay, so C kita tak boleh guna 0.5 punya. Kita tak boleh guna 0.5 dengan 1. Kita akan guna 1 dan 2. So that when you compare the 1 and 2, the C is 1, 2. The C is the same. Can you see that? Your C ratio is the same right now. 1, 1. This whole thing, the C must be the same. Bila C dah sama, then you can combine them. In the other words, your A to C to B stand for 3 to 1 to 2. Itu maksud dia. Better? If you want to combine two ratio, you must find the connection between the two ratio. And the connection must be in the same value. Then the ratio can be completed. Okay? Kalau siapa yang guna 0.5 pun boleh. Siapa yang guna A kepada C 3:1, C kepada B 0.5 kepada 1. Problem arise, value tak sama Miss Wong. Saya ada 1, saya ada 0.5. Value tak sama, nak buat macam mana? Darab je lah bagi sama. Alright, darab dengan 1 faktor bagi sama. Saya nak 1, saya ada 0.5. So semua benda kat sini darab 2. Dia akan dapat sama. 1, 2. 1, 2. Nampak? Problems? No, solve your, I think this is the biggest problem lah. So when you have your A, C, B, and the trick adalah A, C, B. Kat atas adalah A, B, C. Ni soalan pasir weh. Jangan salah jawab. A adalah 3, B adalah 2, C adalah 1. Jangan terbalik. Ni memang soalan final. Alright? So berhati-hati. Baru kita akan buat soalan yang kamu nak buat salah lah. Betul Zul, saya selalu cakap. Bila saya buat soalan, saya akan fikir, oh macam mana saya nak budak saya fikir. So saya akan bagi soalan yang budak saya kena fikir lah. Okay? Alright? So be careful with that. And then after you have all that, oh my eraser is working. Oh, let's erase. Alright, when you have all this already, then you can find sketch the mass spectrum. Let's sketch a bit. Mass spectrum. I love this question. Let's do. Bila kamu nak lukis mass spectrum? Simple. Never on the graph paper. Question will never ask mass spectrum on the graph paper, so no worries. Okay? Your mass spectrum will be simple as this. And if you look at my mass spectrum, do you realize that they are not having arrow? Even in your notes? Do you actually realize that? So realize it now, because they are not graph. They are spectrum. When they are spectrum, they are endless. Dia tak boleh ada arrow. Alright, the difference between graph and spectrum, your graph will have an end because you have skala. Tapi bila dia spectrum, dia tak ada skala. So dia takkan ada hujung. Okay, so your y-axis over here is your abundance. Biasanya kita akan label abundance ataupun percentage abundance. Selain daripada percentage abundance, kita akan letak abundance sahaja. On your x-axis, yang paling senang, M over E adalah simbol yang paling senang. Mass over charge. Okay? Jangan letak QI, jangan letak MI. QI, MI is for your comfort to calculation. It's not the correct axis. Okay? And then, we will always start with 0. And from the 0, you must always start with the smallest atomic mass. Check on the atomic mass, which one is the smallest atomic mass. That is the one that you start on the left. So looking on the atomic mass, you know that your A is 27, your B is 28.1, your C is 28.2. Tak beza banyak. So duduk dekat-dekat je lah. So that is A, that will be my B, that will be my C. Okay? Boleh? Dan saya tak ada pembaris, so saya akan guna line. Kamu guna pembaris. So, next thing. Bila kamu lukis line ke atas, alright, skala tak ada. Memang tak ada skala. Betul, tak ada skala. I agree on kita tak ada skala, Miss Wong. Tapi janganlah lukis line tu tak ikut, apa tu orang kata? Tak ikut logik langsung. Kalau A saya adalah 3. Alright, my A right now is 3. The isotopic abundance is 3. And my A is this high. So when you come to your B, which is the ratio is 2. So, dia kena lebih kurang 2/3 daripada line tadi. Nampak? Memanglah dia tak ada skala. Tapi kamu janganlah bagi kat saya 2 tu kat sini. You get what I mean? Okay, memang kita akan potong markah ya. Kamu akan still dapat markah tapi kita akan potong 1 markah sebab tak logik. Kalau yang ni adalah 3, B kamu 2 kamu mesti adalah at least 2/3 daripada tu. And your C is 1 over that. So when your C is 1, So it should be 1/3 of your A. Something like this. Agak-agak tapi kena make sense. Okay? Kalau soalan lukis mass spectrum yang dah ada data like this, semua data telah diberi, then you must put down the value. So you must label with your dotted line, okay? Dashes line, dotted line, whatever line yang kamu nak guna, sila guna. Dashes line. Same thing. Dashes line, kita kena extrapolate and kita kena letak benda tu, mass tu. Okay, same thing over there. So you can see the height over there for your abundance are very similar. They make sense, you know. They make sense. Even though kamu tak perlu ukur dengan apa pun, you still label, that is my 3, that is my 2, that is my 1 for my A, B, and C. Okay? Boleh? Boleh label sekali dengan isotopic mass of A is 27.999 U, B is 28.1001 U, C is 28.2005 U. Any problem with the mass spectrum? Everybody full marks?
Miss,
Yes.
kalau I tukar 321 tu kan jadi macam percentage. Betul ke jawapan dia?
Betul. Kalau siapa yang tukar 321 tu kepada percentage tak salah, tapi bazir masa sebab tak dapat markah. Soalan tak minta, betul? Soalan tak minta dan soalan tak cakap mass spectrum tu adalah apa versus apa. Dia hanya cakap mass spectrum. Bermakna abundance versus mass over charge sahaja. So abundance tu guna je lah abundance 3 to 1. Okay? Tak payah abundance susah-susah. Tak payah tukar. Boleh tukar, tapi my advice tak payah. Kita satu You know your biggest enemy in exam? Yourself and time. Don't do things that the question didn't ask. Don't do things that you don't have marks. Don't waste your time. You don't have time. Satu-satu benda yang tak cukup masa exam, masa. Okay? So over there, just a kind reminder again. When you draw your, yes, Safan?
I use algebra, is it okay? Sebab ni, saya buat saya buatkan situ jadi pada C yang 3-1 C sama dengan 1/3A. Satu C
Saya tak faham. Dan saya tak dengar sangat mic kamu. Nanti tangkap gambar kat saya. Forward kat saya sekarang. Tangkap gambar kat saya. Alright, yang lain? Okay, kind reminder, tak ada arrow. Tak ada arrow, tak boleh ada arrow. Tak boleh label dengan QI, MI, mesti kena label dengan abundance and also M over E. And when you draw your mass spectrum, your isotope on the left must be starting from the lowest atomic mass. Must be starting from the lowest atomic mass moving up because it's a 0. Alright, dengan kata lain, isotop kamu tak boleh letak suka hati A lulu ke, B lulu ke, C lulu, tak boleh. Dia kena tengok isotopic mass. Dan berhati-hati dengan apa yang soalan bagi. Kadang-kadang dia tak bagi ikut isotopic mass. Dia buat jahat. Okay? So, kena hati-hati. Safan boleh. Boleh. Susahnya hang buat. Boleh. It's the same thing as what I do. Tapi kamu buat 2 kali kerja kat situ. 3 kali. Banyaknya equation. Suka maths ya? Boleh. It's the same. Sebab nanti kamu akan dapat percentage dia pun sama je. Kan? Alright. Tapi banyak kerja. Alright. Banyak kerja. Cara yang paling senang. Sekejap kita balik kepada yang tu. So yang ni saya nak pesan sangat-sangat. Mesti kena mula dengan lowest atomic mass. Yang ni yang selalu kamu akan buat salah. Back to ratio. What Safan sent to me is I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 equation and then another 3 for percentage. What life are you doing? Senang je. Use this, sayang. Use this. I think the hardest should be only this. Kamu letak C, B, 0.5. 0.5 bukan 0.15. 0.5 to 1. Jadikan dia value sama. So, darab semua ni dengan 2. So, kamu dapat 1, 2. So, kamu combine A, C, B jadi 3, 1, 2. Safan, pendek kan? Sama kan? Hampa matematik pandai kot at maths. Gila cara dia. Like this only. Alright, and when you have everything, I guess average atomic mass no problem? Okay, just a kind reminder, average atomic mass over here do not need to change to isotope abundance, percentage abundance or whatsoever. I realize that you love changing all this to your isotope, to your percentage abundance. Guna je lah 3, 2, 1 tu. Ratio is also a type of abundance. Alright, ratio is also a type of abundance. So what can I do over here is I can use them straight away. Your average atomic mass of your ABC will be formula as always QI/MI over QI. Your A is 27.999 times 3. Okay, guna je. Your B is 28.1001 times 2. Plus, your C is 28.2005 times 1. Over, berapa? Over how much? Safan?
6.
6. 3 plus 2 plus 1. Jawapan, I guarantee, sama. Okay? Do not need to change to percentage. I understand. Most of the time, student will actually, dia tak confident nak guna 3, 2, 1 tu. Orang dah bagi nombor kecil, lepas Tuhan nak cari percentage. You really love making your life hard. I can make your life even harder, man. Okay? Question? Answer for this one, anybody?
A50. B 33.33%. B 16.67.
Saya tak dengar. Saya nak average atomic mass terus. Saya nak Sharifah.
28.0667.
28.0.
667 U.
Betul, kelas? 28.600 U.
0667.
0667 U. Okay? Setuju?
Setuju.
Alright, kira ya. Saya memang takkan bagi jawapan, kira. Kalau saya tulis jawapan siap-siap, apa kalkulator tu tak pegang dah. So, sila kira sendiri. Okay, saya bagi cara aja. Alright. Any other question that you need tips? Yang lain boleh buat?
Nombor 8 itu.
Nombor 8, let's see. Two naturally occurring isotope gallium, gallium-69. Yang ni yang saya maksudkan. Cara tulis dia gallium-69, gallium-71. Okay? Which are found in the ratio of 3:2. So I have gallium-69 and also gallium-71 is in the ratio of 3:2. That means the average atomic mass of gallium. Macam soalan tadi, perlu cari percentage? Tak perlu, guna terus. And I think the problem that your friend occur over here is dia tak bagi atomic mass yang kecil-kecil tu, yang point tu, betul? Kalau dia tak bagi isotopic mass tak ada, kita guna apa? Guna terus nucleon number. Do you know that your nucleon number is actually your isotopic mass also? Similar, not exactly but similar. Okay? So kalau dia tak bagi isotopic mass, soalan tak bagi isotopic mass, guna nucleon number yang dia bagi. So to find the average atomic mass over that, formula standard, it just doesn't like, I don't know why. Okay. So my average atomic mass, summation QI MI over QI, where your QI over here will be 69 times 3 plus 71 times 2 tambah terus 3 tambah 2. Tak perlu cari percentage, guna terus. The mass spectrum later on, alright, the mass spectrum later on for the gallium, when you draw the mass spectrum of the gallium will be exactly as what we decided to draw for your previous question. Make sure skala dia adalah logic. 3, 2 maksud dia lebih kurang tinggi mana. Okay? Tolong bukan line ikut suka hati. Tak nak. Saya tak nak line ikut suka hati. Kalau 3 adalah tinggi ni, 2 patut tinggi mana. Okay? Alright? Kena logic. Tak perlu kira sampai oh it's a 5 cm. So 2 daripada 5 cm berapa, tak payah. Tapi mata kasar saya kena nampak logik. Okay? Yang lain saya rasa tak ada apa sebab soalan yang susah pun memang kamu dah tanya dah. Soalan yang saya rasa student tak boleh buat. Okay? Ada masalah? Tak ada? Okay. Kita tak masuk lagi relative molecular mass tapi quiz sat lagi ada relative molecular mass. Sebab relative molecular mass ni untuk saya amatlah senang. Okay. Ada relative molecular mass yang tak boleh kira? Kalau siapa tengok video dia akan dapat. Okay. Kita kira satu je before our class end sebab quiz saya ada tanya. So for magnesium sulfate hydrated, the second last question in your question number 1. Okay. So over here, soalan saya yang pertama, semua dah habis elok? Okay. Soalan saya yang pertama untuk semua adalah titik kat situ maksud dia apa?
Tambah.
Tambah. Alright. Titik kat sini dalam bahasa kimia dia bukan darab. Titik kat sini hanya menunjukkan your water molecule is binded to the magnesium sulfate. Okay, they are binded with water. That's it. It's hydrated. That is what we mean by hydrated. We have water molecule in the magnesium sulfate. That's it. The dot over here still represent tambah macam biasa. So for this case, your MR will be your magnesium 24.3 plus your sulfur 32.1 plus your oxygen 4 times 16 gram tambah 7 darab 2. So 14 hydrogen tambah 7 darab oxygen darab 1. So 7 oxygen. And I want you to pay very close attention on the dot over here still represent tambah. 7 yang ada kat depan wajib darab masuk. 7 yang ada kat depan wajib didarab masuk ke dalam hydrogen and also water. So 7 times 2, 14. 7 times 1, 7. That is your 14, that is your 7. Masih tambah. And the next thing that I want you to pay attention is decimal places. In matriculation syllabus, we are using up to 1 decimal places for all your relative atomic mass. Semua relative atomic mass mesti adalah 1 decimal places. Mesti. Sebab diberi dalam exam. Bila diberi dalam exam, kita kena ikut apa yang diberi dalam exam. Okay? Yang ni tak ada masalah kot. Kan? Saya rasa masalah paling besar yang ni je. Yang mungkin kat SPM tak biasa jumpa. Setakat nak kira NaCl tak boleh. Balik tadika weh. Balik tadika. Kau buat. Saya bayar. Balik tadika, belajar balik. Okay? Yang ni saya rasa tak ada masalah, yang bracket-bracket pun tak ada masalah, should be okay, hanya darab masuk je lah. Okay, darab masuk. Okay, darab dua-dua. Any question? No? Okay. Kalau no, sama tutor saya lagi saya akan hantar, saya akan minta hantar lambat sikit lah sebab saya lagi nak buat quiz. Your quiz is 19 question tapi 20 markah sebab ada satu soalan tu 2 markah. So about 20 marks and I give you 25 minutes. Okay? Any email will do. You should be able to log into that Google form any email. The link is in the Google Classroom. Okay? The link is in the Google Classroom. You are not needing anything. Everything is given except your brain. Yes, you need your brain, your calculator, pencil, and paper. There is calculation. Bukan soalan yang kamu baca dan dapat jawapan terus. Okay? Alright. And untuk yang lama-lama, sebab saya ada 1 minit lagi, untuk yang lama-lama kelas dengan saya dia patut tahulah. Untuk yang baru-baru ni semua, your quiz will have result immediately. And in my class, after quiz, there is one thing we call correction. Correction is a must. Okay? So cara nak buat correction adalah when you already submit the quiz, you will have your result. Screenshot, sama ada screenshot, copy the question, screenshot the question, tak kisah. You need to copy the question that you answer wrongly only. And you need to do correction for that question. And you need to submit the correction back to your Google Classroom. Okay, you will see a due date later on. Okay, tak perlu semua soalan yang salah sahaja. Correction dengan jawapan betul dan explanation. Jawapan betul dan explanation. Kenapa salah? Okay? Saya tak nak. Your quiz is meaningless kalau kamu tak tahu apa yang salah. Okay? Every quiz will come with a correction. Is that clear? Kawan kamu kata you don't have class after my class, right? Do you have class?
No.
No, okay. If no, that's why I make it 4:30. If yes, then I'll make it at 5:30. So 4:30, okay? The link will open at 4:30. The link will open at 4:30 and then you can start answering and the link will close 25 minutes later. So 4:55. Okay? Question? No? So if nothing, I will continue next week with your relative molecular mass and a bit of the tutorial question, and then we'll move into mole concept. Thank you and have a good day.
Thank you, madam.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, madam.
Thank you, madam.
Thank you, madam.
Thank you, madam.
Thank you, miss.